Welcome back, race fans, to Freaky Fast Broadcasting as we are back here with the ARCA Evolution Series for their round of 8 cutoff race for the final four to decide who four will battle for the championship next week at the Homestead Miami Speedway. But tonight we have a lot of great storylines and close battles in the points that we have to keep you up to date with here in the ARCA Series. As tonight's Sheffield Graphics presents the ARCA Evolution Dover 55. Let's give a special shout out to all these sponsors who help make it happen here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Let's first give a sponsorship shout out to Or Nissan Central, the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. You can go check them out at www.ornissancentral.com and you can see what they have in store for you there. And next we have Sheffield Graphics, the leading designer in sim racing paints and deliveries. It was founded by a Navy veteran, and a portion of every paint goes to the Military Foundation Codes of Honor. It's a great non-profit organization that gives sponsorships to families of fallen soldiers and disabled veterans. Make sure to check them out on Facebook under Sheffield Graphics. Next, we want to give a shout out to ButtKicker. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car. By moving to physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly in sync with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you head on over to ButtKicker.com and you can use our promo code FreakyFast20 to get 20% off of any purchase there at their website. Next, let's give a shout out to the McConey Setup Shop. The McConey Setup Shop is your home for iRacing setups and the official setup shop of the Richmond Raceway Esports team, building the number 46 and 90 in the Coca-Cola iRacing series for Jimmy Mullis and Zach Novak. With everything from the Legends to the Cup cars, we've got you covered. Dirt setups for late models, modifieds, and wing sprints are available as well. Coaching with professional drivers such as NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series champion Zach Novak, his teammate Jimmy Mullis, River Hayes, and more are available also. And remember, at the McConey Setup Shop, there are setups, but they're your victories. So you can head on over to our website, www.mcconeysetupshop.com today, where you can use our promo code FFB10 to get 10% off of any purchase there at the McConey Setup Shop. So remember, FFB10 to get 10% off of any setup there at the McConey Setup Shop. And we also have a giveaway we got going on at the McConey Setup Shop for a free coaching lesson with one of their drivers. So you're a driver of choice, and we will get that all worked out, and we'll have the link for that giveaway out there in the chat at some point during tonight's ARCA Series race and Cup Series race. So make sure you check it out there in chat and stay up to date with that. But thank you to the McConey Setup Shop for all they do. But back to the racing action we have out here on the racetrack. What a night of action we have in store for you here, as I am Zach Hall up in the booth. Joined alongside me will be Brandon Colley, and we'll have Robert Moyer Jr. running the cameras in the background. Man, Brandon, back here at the ARCA Evolution Series here for the Dover International Speedway this weekend with the cutoff race looming. This is going to be very tight.
It absolutely will. I mean, if you look at the points here, between third and fifth in points, they're separated by 3 points. Matt O'Brook, Ryan Fine, and Justin Malarkey, and then behind Malarkey, you've got Stephen Carey, who's back by 10, still not quite out of it. Then behind Stephen Carey, you've got James Wright, 17 back, and Justin Hendry in an absolute must-win, 45 points back. So the 28 going to have to win here tonight. But Stephen Carey off to a great start already, qualifying, getting himself some great track position. Well, it looked pretty good. Now falling back down to 8, still inside the top 10. But you can be really patient here at Dover and make up a lot of spots, keep plucking away at it. You manage your stuff, you will find your way to the front. Tire management going to be absolutely crucial. This is a very high-speed short track, high bank corners, concrete surface. Absolutely loves to eat up the tires here. And if you can manage your entries especially, you're going to find a lot of speed in the late run.
Yeah, this track is known to devastate the tires. We'll have to watch how that all plays out through the night. But, man, yeah, right now, Brian Fine, Matt Upbrook looking to hold those 2 spots in. Justin Malarkey, Carey looking to get in by points. Same with James right there, 17 back. He's a little bit more of a long shot. Hendry's going to have to need a win. It's going to be very close racing here with these 16 drivers we have tonight. And Fine right now hasn't put down a time, so interesting for him there. He jumps up to about 5th on the board there in the closing minutes here of qualifying. So great job by him to jump up there. Looks like Upbrook will be landing in around the 8th to 7th position. Looks like I'll round out to 8th. Now carry back to 9th. So some playoff contenders there doing battle as David Edwards and Christopher Smurl, they look locked into for next week. So we'll see which 2 drivers will join them here in these next 55 laps.
Yeah, that's going to be, I think, the battle I'm paying attention to the most. I mean, being separated by only 3 points between the 3 of them there. Somebody's more than likely going to get bumped out by a single point. I know the sting of that. You don't want to be on the wrong end of it. And I'm going to be pulling for these guys to stay out of trouble and have a heads-up race here to decide who's going to make it into that Final Four.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to the very last lap, possibly. We'll have to see. I mean, that's how a lot of these cutoff races do happen. I mean, we see such close battles throughout the whole year between these drivers. Now it's all going to come down to tonight if they have a chance to make this a championship season. But there it is. That's the end of our qualifying session. As it looks like Anthony Gaudio, he's going to be your Sheffield Graphics pole winner here tonight, as we'll be looking to bring up our starting grid here at the Dover International Speedway. There you can see Anthony Gaudio starting from that first position, brought to you by Sheffield Graphics. Second's going to go to Richard Gonzalez there. Great qualifying position for him. Third's going to go to Christopher Smurl. Fourth's going to be David Edwards. Both those drivers locked into next week at Homestead for that championship round. Fifth's going to go to Brian Fine, looking to get himself in there with those other 2. Seventh's going to be Steve Potter. Eighth's going to go to, sixth's going to be Steve Potter. Seventh's going to be Steven Rasick. 8th's going to go to Matt Oakbrook. 9th's going to be Stephen Carey. 10th's going to be Harold Rothery. 11th's going to be Justin Hendry. 12th's going to be Jeff Carson. 13th, Justin Malarkey. 14th, James Wright. 15th's going to be Jake Cachet. And rounding out your field in the 16th position is going to be Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. As that's your starting grid here tonight from Dover. We'll go ahead and bring down Mr. Anthony Gaudio in that 3 machine. He has been qualified on pole each week, it feels like. We'll see if he can translate that to a win like he did here earlier in the season.
Hey, Anthony, Brandon up in the booth yet again, bud. You got a copy?
What's happening?
Well, man, good to hear some energy back in your voice after the last couple weeks. Anthony, congratulations on getting the Sheffield Graphics Pole Award here at Dover. You've had such consistent speed the last couple weeks. I think, just kind of had that chip on your shoulder after getting knocked out, trying to go out here and just beat these guys each and every week. How do you feel about your chances despite the bad luck you've had the last couple weeks?
Y'all better start calling me the Rocket Man over here. This is my fifth pole in a row. But no,
yeah, I'm gonna need you to slow it down, man. I gotta talk to somebody new every now and then.
Yeah, no. Hopefully, I can keep it all together tonight and pick up a W. It would be nice. Car feels good. Track's tricky. Respect throttle.
Oh man, looking forward to it. I know these ARCA cars are pretty difficult, especially here at Dover, and excited to see you guys wheel these things. Looks like you got an extra set of tires in the pits than what you guys are used to. How valuable do you think those are going to be?
Definitely going to come in handy if we stay green. Green flag pit stops are going to be definitely going to be tricky coming in hot out of turn 3. So, but I'm a little nervous, but I think we're going to get a W tonight. I feel it.
All right, buddy. Let you get back down there in the car, ready to get this thing going. Wish you the best of luck. Hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of it.
You got it. Thank you.
I could not move. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon, I don't think if you can try to move Anthony for me here, get him back down.
Yeah, seems like we do not have the permissions to do that. I'm so sorry.
I can't move anybody.
Yeah, apologies to Anthony and the fans here for us being quiet. We're having issues with Discord, and don't want to disturb Anthony too much, but also try to get this issue solved.
There we go. Okay. Wow, that was really weird. That was awkward. Sorry
Yeah,
about that,
Discord
everybody.
Discord not being nice to us tonight.
Yeah, that was very awkward. I think it even, I don't know, that was very weird, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Never had that issue before, so kind of was like froze at the moment. But looks like Richard Gonzalez go hold to the lead. We got Anthony back down to his team. Hopefully no issues there for him as he's gonna slide back to fourth. We'll see how fast that race goes. Get himself back up there. But man, oh man, they threw us a curveball there at the start here. As Carey's already up to third from ninth. I don't even know how he did that. As I was trying to figure everything out.
Yeah, missed a good bit of the action there, like you said, Zach, trying to get that sorted out. And again, apologies to Anthony. But still, I think more so this is not a fallback due to distraction. I think this is a very calculated move for Anthony to fall back to fourth here, especially with Stephen Carey and Brian Fine both in a position feeling like they've got to race up here near the front the entire night, try to get as much points as they can. They're being very aggressive off the initial drop of the green flag here.
Oh yeah, they're being really aggressive, and I think, like you said, that what Anthony's doing is exactly right. He's saving the tires. This track right here will destroy the tires. You just gotta really run your own pace. You can't push too hard. It's one track that you can go out there and make lap time by driving harder, but that in turn is gonna make a huge issue for you as a driver later in this race.
Yeah, and it's one of those places that I feel, because it's such high bank, such high speed, that once the tires get overinflated, you build up too much air pressure, you really balloon them out. Because of all that load and the speed you have to maintain throughout the corner, it's extremely difficult to back it off and pull them back down. It takes such a long time, and you have to be so much more off the pace to do that. It really benefits this type of driving style here, where you take it easy and let it come to you, let everybody else burn their stuff up, and also you're not going to have to push as hard when you finally when they start showing their tire wear, and you can push forward a little bit with slightly better tires.
It looks like we're 7 laps in the booster was at 98 around from Carey's front nose. That's going to keep us green, though, as Fine's going to actually save that somehow after he was completely almost turned around. That's a lot of damage, and remember, he come into this race right on the line in fourth. That's a huge issue for him there, battling with Stephen Carey, one of the drivers trying to fight his way in.
I don't think that's the last time that we're going to see something like that. Luckily, doesn't seem to have got too much front end damage, but possibly going to be some engine damage on that 98. He is looking to bring it down pit road now. Pretty significant damage on the nose. We'll have to see exactly how long his pit stop is here, but this could be disastrous for Brian Fine. Like you talked about, he is that cutoff driver. Cannot afford to have an incident like this happen this early in the race.
Oh man, that's the damage here at this track. You know, you think as it's somewhat of a, you know, a track that doesn't matter about too much aero, but this track is all about aero with the high banks here at Dover. And it's going to be a huge issue for that race car as he continues on. But at the same time, if he can get the caution at some point, he might be able to get it fixed up, get himself back up there in points. But man, oh man, Brandon, this is going to definitely throw a whole curveball into his strategy, how he's got to run his race now. 12 laps into this thing is Richard Gonzalez still hanging on to the lead out there. Another driver I was watching trying to make his way up through is Justin Malarkey. Not the greatest qualifying run for him there from that 13th qualifying spot, so he's needing to make up points here. He's got to go through.
Yeah, sitting 10th right now, looking to track down the 9. Looks like Jeff Carson and Steven Graysick battling just up ahead of him. But like you said, not the greatest qualifying effort. Used to seeing Justin more up toward the front here, but Dover's a very difficult place to qualify at. That margin of error on the qualifying run, it's very, very thin. Very easy to catch the wall, especially, I mean, just under normal race conditions, it's easy to catch the wall out of turns 2 and 4, but trying to put down the fastest lap you can right on the edge here. You gotta remember, if you even scrape the wall just a little bit, it completely nullifies your lap.
Oh man, he's racing hard with Jeff Carson here in the 9 machine. See up ahead, there's Steve Racing in the 2. He's in that 8th position directly ahead of these drivers. He's not in position for the playoffs, so he's out here doing his own race, not focusing too much on points, focusing about his race. As Malarkey there makes the pass on Carson. Biggest thing for Malarkey is he cannot let Carey win this race. If Carey goes out and wins, then he needs to put enough positions between him and Upbrook and also the 98 of Brian Fine, who was already caught up in that. Is, oh, there goes Malarkey by the 2 of Racing now. He'll get himself up to 8. It's only 1 spot behind Matt Upbrook, but about a second and a half back from him.
Yeah, gonna have to finish at least 3 spots ahead of Upbrook or 2 with a lap lead. So a lot of work here for Malarkey to do, but the good news is Upbrook just ahead of him here on the track and definitely has some positions that he can make up to increase that gap if Upbrook decides to kind of hold station where he's at, can't find any more speed. And much to the dismay of Brian Fine, sitting 15th position right now, 3 laps down, going to be the last car on the field. Saw Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. 16th on the grid, but he is going to be taking a 1-race suspension after the incident we saw last week at Pocono. So we'll be seeing the 48 back next week.
Let's see, ooh, Carey now. As Gaudio's got by, here comes Smarole in the 14 machine. David Edwards also in the 15. There's Smarole and Edwards both locked in to next week after their wins in the first 2 races of this round. As, oh, Edwards so close to the back bumper of Carey. That was really, really close there, Brandon.
Yeah, that was a guy who's already locked in, just out here racing for the win, saying, man, I understand the position you're in here. I'm not trying to cause you any problems, even though it's probably letting somebody who's one of my biggest competitors out here gap me on the racetrack. Huge amount of respect for the 15 there, not to cause Stephen Carey any more issues.
Yeah, he did a good job not to completely turn the 83 there. He could have definitely, not lifted like some people possibly would have, and got right to the back of that 83 and sent him around. So great job by him as he's going to go look to the inside. Now, I think Stephen Carey, we've seen Stephen Carey be one of the quickest cars on short runs a lot of times. I think this is a classic track, and if you're going to be good on short runs, very close racing between those 2. They bump doors.
And that's no foul for either driver. It's just such a tight exit to the corners here. Coming up off the bank, and the car carrying so much speed can't help but wash out like that. Great job for Stephen Carey to keep it out of the wall. David Edwards gets the wall on the entry to turn 1, opening the door for Carey to get back to the inside. Like you said, I mean, you're really starting to see the fall off for Stephen Carey here, as well as Richard Gonzalez just ahead of him, as now Smarole is caught up to the back bumper of Gaudio, who's made the pass on Gonzalez for the lead. That short run speed, it's great to have if you have a short run, but right now these guys having a long run, and they are really paying for abusing their tires.
Yeah, this is when you see who saved their stuff and who didn't. Right now, the front 2, they have definitely saved every bit of what they had. As this front 2 started to check out past Richard Gonzalez, and they just played it right. And with a 60% fuel load, they're definitely not like they're going to have to make a pit stop here, and it's almost. We're going to be nearing halfway for this race here very quickly. This race is going to click off so fast, you'll be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, we've only got 55 laps here today at Dover, and already on lap 23, 24.3 is what these guys are running around here. I mean, they're putting down just under 3 laps, or just over, 3 laps a minute. No, wait, I think I phrased that wrong again. Anyway, it's almost 3 laps a minute. That's how many that's quick.
It's so fast. Let's see breakaway up front. We're looking back here at Matt Upbrook. He's got Hendry in the 28, who's in a must-win position, and the 73 of Malarkey, who's closed them down. I'll tell you what, Malarkey got good pace in that 73. He's closed down not only the gap to these guys up ahead, but the gap to the leaders that he had before. So he's looking pretty good there as he's going to be looking to go by the 28 of Hendry here through 2. He'll, not get the pass done. Hendry's going to fight back on the 28 on the outside. These are 2 playoff guys. They need to fight hard here on each other as they go through 3 and 4. Can he get it done? Yes, he does. Malarkey gets the pass done. Here comes Hendry with somewhat of a cut down. Can't get the run back. New position for Justin Markey up to 7th, almost halfway through his field.
Yeah, I mean, you can defend on the outside pretty well here, but it takes a lot of cojones. You got to have a lot of trust on the guy on the inside not to wash up out of the corner and put you in the fence, but you've also got to have trust in yourself that you can put the power down and keep that thing out of the fence, because how tight these exits get, We haven't really seen it happen too often yet. I don't think anybody's really knocked the fence down out of the corner just yet. We saw the contact between Edwards and Carey, but I imagine before the race is over with, we're going to see somebody make a misstep here and try to move the fence back by about a foot.
Yeah, at some point, usually the wall comes up king here at Dover. It never fails, man. It's a track I really struggle at, and I think it's one I got a lot of demons at personally in my past here. So it's a tough place to keep that right front tire under you. It's so tough.
And it always seems to be the type of track that a driver, you know, there's really two kinds of drivers, guys that like loose race cars, guys that like tight race cars. It seems like Dover is a track that seems to benefit the guys that like the tight race cars. It just favors that type of driving style. And like you said, it's a track that's not really good for you. Well, you like a loose race car. It statistically is pretty good for me, even though I'm not the biggest fan of it, and I like a tight race car. I just just fits the driving style a whole lot, and you just spend a lot more time off throttle trying to let the car roll rather than driving it with the right rear tire and letting the car do its thing and giving little indications, just the way the car rolls through the corner, when it's okay to get back on the gas.
Hey, well, what's fun too is I'm looking at these guys. They're starting to move around a little bit here, Brandon. Now up front, Gaudio, he's switched his lineup from the bottom. He's moved up to about the 2.5 groove there, right to the top of the rubber, and he's making some decent runs. But I tell you what, he's opened up the door to let the 14 also get clean air. Is now Sproul actually go about half a lane up this time for the 2. So very interesting to see him moving around a little bit here on lap 31 with 25 to go. I'd expect them to be pitting here somewhat soon, because if you can get an undercut and get out front, it could be critical.
Yeah, we're already seeing some guys. Matt Upbrook on pit road, James Wright as well, making his pit stops. The same for the 94 Steve Potter. Like you talked about, Gaudio moving up just a little bit. It's almost a lazy diamond to the corner, trying to get that late apex, the straight run off the corner. But Gaudio, a little bit of a misstep there, has to lift, catches the apron, opens the door for Sproul to get to the inside here. See if Gaudio take really wide through 3 and 4. Might be able to get the run off. Able to do that. Should be able to pull ahead here. This lap going to go to Gaudio, and he's even going to be able to clear the 14.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's been running the outer groove there, so this is kind of worked out for him. He's like, I've been doing this. I know how to do this, so works out. But I tell you what, Smerol, if he can get ahead, I think he is quicker at the moment. He's able to just roll the bottom a lot better, turn through the center, and get the run up off, where Gaudio is struggling a little bit more there.
Well, as this battle is shaping up here, Stephen Carey now on pit road making his pit stop. Same with Richard Gonzalez, both falling at least 1 lap down. Now Gonzalez falling 2 laps down. 7 cars on the lead lap. You have to make their pit stop, and that is right there. You saw it. Smerol able to take advantage of a bit of a slip up from the 3. Make his pit stop. Gaudio looks like he is hitting pit road.
I was about to say, Gaudio is sitting
Oh, no!
Pass. Oh, did he hit the barrels? He hit it.
Oh, he just caught him, but he saved it. A little bit of right side damage possibly, but that was almost disastrous for Anthony Gaudio.
Wow, what scenes we're seeing here at Dover. That could have been detrimental to his race. I'm looking at the right rear, and it's not too terrible. It's looking, I mean, looking at it, it looks pristine. I mean, that thing's made of gold.
Yeah, that was a whale of a save from Gaudio. I mean, it knocked him all kind of sideways trying to get slowed down for pit road there and able to wheel it back underneath him. Now you got a majority of the field coming down pit road behind him here. Chris Smerol, Justin Hendry also on pit road. Edwards following Gaudio down. Malarkey and Rothery, the only 2 cars still out on the racetrack.
This guy was trying to take it a little bit farther here into the fuel window, as they'll be having the fresher tires. And if a caution comes out any point during this sequence here, you're going to be definitely trapped multiple guys a lap down. This is not the biggest risk for guys like Malarkey, but at the same time, if this thing stays green, he's giving up a lot of times to guys he needs to make points up on. This is going to be critical here, man, when it comes all down to the end.
Yeah, I mean, the benefit of this is if you get the caution, everybody still has a set of tires, and they're probably going to take it anyway. But if it goes green, you have fresher tires. You're going to be able to push harder, have less laps left in the race, but you are giving up so much time right now. I mean, it's a second a lap, almost a second a lap here, every lap for these guys still out on these older tires. And like we talked about, it's only 24 seconds in a lap. The guys with fresh tires running 23 flats. So it's not a lot of time, but it looks like a lot of time left in this race. And you may be pitting with just a little bit too little time left in the race to make up with those fresher tires.
You know, okay, this is kind of making me think back a little bit to Kansas, where we seen Stephen Carey. He kind of fell back, burned his stuff up, did somewhat of a very undercut compared to the rest of his competitors, who decided to take it much farther into the zone just to be safer, where they never ended up catching him back up. Right now, I'm telling you what, Stephen Carey, he's going to be a good bit ahead of the rest of the field, and Upbrook also on the same strategy. These two are out here pretty far, about a straightaway ahead, but with 15 to go, Sparrow running at 22.82, Carey's 23.32. He could very well catch him still, but man, I'm telling you what, it still might work out where Carey might be able to point his way in with this.
Well, trying to cycle through the field here and see kind of where everybody is in relation to each other, that to try to get a good idea of where people are going to shake out. Seeing now David Edwards making a pass on teammate Richard Gonzalez to move up to the 7th position. Still one lap down. Everybody from 3rd place to 10th, from Stephen Carey to Justin Hendry, all one lap down right now. Harold Rothray and Malarkey still have not come down to make their pit stops. But like you said, Carey leading that group and a pretty far distance ahead in that 3rd position. Should be able to make up that lap under green, depending on when Malarkey decides to come in, but still no signs from the 73 that he's wanting to hit pit road just yet.
Now this is a very interesting call by him, because once he pits, if he doesn't get a caution, it's playoffs over. Malarkey will not be moving on for this race. He needs a caution. A green flag stop now. He's waited so long that he is not going to make up the gap between him and Stephen Stephen Carey. Will have enough positions most likely in between those two to make it. And I think you got to be thinking that, you know, because Upbrook, he's very well in a good position. Upbrook's looking very well off. But Brian Fine with the huge issues there for him. Malarkey was the closest one to him. All he had to do was somewhat make up one position over Brian Fine and keep 10 positions in between him and Carey. I mean, that was a very likely situation where he was running. Now with this long run he's doing here, he's put himself into a terrible spot to make the Final Four.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the situation that Stephen Carey is in right now. Looking like if this goes green, he's got a pretty good shot to win this race. This only works out really bad for Malarkey if Carey wins the race. That takes away one spot. That would bump Matt Upbrook down to the final transfer position. But right now, with the issues like you noted, Brian Fine having, Malarkey still is inside that top 4. Stephen Carey too far back right now, unless he wins, to make it in with where Malarkey's running. But with this pit stop, as long as Stephen Carey doesn't win, I think it still works out for Malarkey with the way the cars being a lap down are. But like you said, you don't want to put yourself too far out from what everybody else is doing, cycling yourself too far out, because you're giving up a lot of positions that you can't afford, especially with the points being as close as they are.
Oh man, the battle's heating up there for that first car, or one lap down. Stephen Carey, Matt Upbrook, they're starting the race with 8 to go here. This is going to let Smarol get closer to them. As you can see, he just broke into the picture behind James Wright in the 8 machine. He's going to be there pretty quickly if Upbrook can't get around faster, because Upbrook is definitely faster than this 83 machine.
Well, if Upbrook wins, this actually is a lifesaver for Malarkey right now, as Upbrook does make that pass around Stephen Carey to take over that first car one lap down. That 3rd place is going to be cycling back to the lead once everybody makes their pit stops. I think Malarkey, seeing that, and maybe if he's got somebody realizing how fast Upbrook is compared to Carey right now, might be willing to make his pit stop. But I've got to think that this strategy for Malarkey has to be, if he gets the caution with everybody a lap down, he's still going to cycle and have great track position. Everybody's going to be taken away from around Lucky Dog, and they're going to have to restart behind him. But there's not enough time. I mean, you've only got a handful of laps here.
Very well true. I mean, 6 to go now. I mean, can Malarkey make it? Didn't think he can save enough fuel. As I think Harold Rothray, he's on pit road now to 4. So can Malarkey go that much farther?
I'm going to take a listen here to Malarkey and try to see if he's saving just a little bit. See if he's maybe clutching it. Try to get an idea of what his throttle input is. It sounds like he is definitely clutching in these corners, trying to save every little bit of fuel he can. And you got to think, he's still a lap ahead. If he can stretch it just far enough, he could almost coast around here.
This is interesting, man. I didn't even think about the wing. Didn't even think he could save enough fuel. This is mind-boggling.
And behind him, Matt Upbrook, the very next car behind him on the track, but Chris Sproul looking to play spoiler here for Upbrook. Now going to be making the pass on Upbrook and charging after Malarkey.
You also think if you're Sproul here, is your teammate up here? You know, it's such a tough situation though, man. Does he go around his teammate? Because if he waits to not go around his teammate, then once they take the white flag, I mean, pretty much that's a wrap for Malarkey if he can make it back to that white flag line.
Well, I think if you're in the position that Sproul, I mean, wins are nice. You always want wins, but you're trying to make sure your teammate here, if he wins, he's absolutely locked in. And that's ideally what you want with your teammates. It's the most help you're going to have for the championship four. You're going to have a little bit more help amongst the other competitors. And you can see he's not really pushing the issue too much here, waiting to set up a good run, gets to the inside of Malarkey, and man.
White flag.
White flag here. I think Malarkey's going to be able to make it around.
He's definitely going to make it around, and he's going to be able to come back with the win. There's no way they get back around because they're second and third right there with them. What a master class strategy to pull the fuel saving off. This guy just went out there and did it. Justin Malarkey, he rounds out a 4, and he's going to be your Sheffield Graphics Racer here tonight at the ARCA Evolution Series, stamping his way into the Final 4 at Homestead. And I think that's also going to lock Mac Upbrook in there for that final 4th position with the points. So it's going to be our top 4 here tonight. Justin Malarkey, Christopher Sproul, Matt Upbrook, and David Edwards fighting it out at the Homestead Miami Speedway next Tuesday night here. This is, man, what a final ending to that. I didn't even think that was possible.
Malarkey just came out here and hit him with the Dover Don't Stop. That was, man, the one guy in the field to decide, you know what, I'm not even going to try to make a pit stop, and I'm interested to see if he's going to have enough fuel to do a burnout here.
I mean, he's still going. Man, what a call by him, dude. That is... He had to play that from the very beginning. Because nobody else, I mean, Harold Rothman only stretched it to 50. Nobody else even got close to there. I mean, what a job from Malarkey. See if he can bring it out here to see if he still got power. He's still got power under the wheels. This guy's got a reserve fuel tank under the seat.
Still going. Still going. And he's out of fuel.
What a show, ladies and gentlemen. Man, I hope you all enjoyed that one as your Sheffield Graphics race winner burns it down the front straightaway here at Dover Downs. We'll be back here in a few moments to talk to Malarkey, Sproul, and Upbrook about their races here tonight and making it to that Final 4. right, we are back here, ladies and gentlemen, as we got our top 3 guys up here in the booth. And we'll get to talk with first your own Matt Upbrook in the 16 machine, making his way to the Final Four at Homestead. Let's hear from him about how his race went tonight. Hey, Matt, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Matt, well, a great run here tonight with your back against the wall, man. Coming in here, you had the top of the points guys to go make it to the Final Four, and going to come out here with a third-place finish, man. That should solidify you as our fourth and final man making it into the Final Four, man. So how does that feel?
Well, it's a big weight off my chest. I was, trying to play it off like I wasn't nervous, but there was always a little bit of nerves there. I knew who I needed to race and where I needed to finish, so all around, pretty good race.
Yeah, definitely a great race overall. We were kind of caught off of Malarkey making it on fuel there. I'm not sure if the rest of the field thought that was possible also, but man, with the strategy there, it came down to, you did a little bit of an undercut compared to the rest of the field where you pit around lap 31, I believe it was, and the rest of the guys pit around lap 35 to 34 there. So, that little extra laps there to get that undercut and get ahead definitely got you a few good positions, man.
Yep, I had a plan going in, what lap I was going to pit on, and I was going to stick to it, and I did, and it turned out to work in my favor.
Well, now down to this week being over, you making the Final Four, Matt. Homestead Miami now looms. How do you feel about that mile and a halfer that we have upcoming next?
I like the track. I tend to overdrive it, so there's going to be a lot of practice going on this week. Look for David; he'll be fast there for sure. He always is. I'm glad to have 2 of our team in the Final Four. Wish Richard could be there, but there's always next season.
That's right, my friend. That's right. As you guys have put on a show this season, you and your teammates have been fun to watch, and you got 2 of them, like you said, going on to the Final Four for a shot at the championship. So, first of all, congrats on that, Matt. But before we let you get out here and go celebrate and get prepared for next week at Homestead, anybody want to send a shout out to you, man?
Yep. Shout out to my mom and dad in Texas. They're watching. Shout out to my teammates as always, David and Richard, and all the practice and the help from Curtis and the guys on the Cup side with Michael and Travis and everybody over there in GT. So just shout out to everybody. Appreciate all the help. Appreciate you guys, and look forward to next week.
Well, Matt, we look forward to next week too, buddy. Congrats on making that Final Four, and we will catch you next week at Homestead, man, with a chance for a championship.
Thank you.
All right, that was this 16 of Matt O'Brook, your third place finisher there, guys. What a great run for him to get his pit call right, to be able to come home and bring it in that third spot and jump a few guys and put himself in a good points position to make that Final Four. So we'll see what he can do next week, as he'll be one of our contenders. But here's also one of our Final Four contenders. He's a second place finisher here tonight at Dover, Chris Morrow. Let's hear from him after his win last week. We'll talk to him this week about his second place finish with a 1-2 with his team. Hey, Chris, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Hey, Zach, how's it going tonight?
Hey, buddy, it's going great. I tell you what, great run for yourself, man, up here in the 14. Had a great battle with Anthony Gaudio there during the first run there. Looks like he made a little bit of a mistake there on the pit sequence, and you got away from him there, man. But I tell you what, normally when you say just coming up a little bit short of a victory, but I tell you what, man, you got to be definitely happy to see that you got yourself locked in, first of all, last week, but, to come here this week and have your teammate Justin Markey win. Just take us through this race and the feelings of having both you guys get locked in there.
Yeah, it's a mix of emotions feeling right now. I don't even know how to explain it. Really great battling up front there, like you said, with Gaudio, as usual when we get a chance to race together. Nice and clean, respectful. I will admit though, when I saw him, he obviously I either got around him or he was getting ready to go down pit road. He didn't want to create an incident, so he let me by. Either way, pulled back around and he's still sitting in pit road. I was, you want the race, you want the competition there, but if he's gonna be stuck in pit road for a little bit longer, I'm okay with it, I guess, at the end of the day. But I thought we were doing really well, and we were obviously in our team Discord, and Justin's like, yeah, man, I'm 1 lap to the good, 2 laps to the good, 4 laps to the good. I'm like, how this guy is crazy with the fuel saving. I mean, I don't understand for a single second how he got that to work. I think there's one other guy out there that was giving it a shot, didn't quite make it. I was sitting there. There was a moment where I was in second place, and the lucky dog, like, I don't even, what a crazy race. And I was able to get him finish on the lead lap, I guess, at least finally. But yeah, really, really happy. Justin, there's one dude who's kind of like flies under the radar, but is solid every week and deserves a spot in the final four. It's definitely Malarkey.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. I tell you what, it was mind blowing for us up here in the booth. We were questioning the strategy, saying, oh no, he's giving up points. What's going on? But he had it all figured out, I guess, in the background. So that is awesome to hear.
Cool
Congrats to
customer,
him.
man. Hey,
Yeah.
I was sweating for him. He's like, "No, man, I'm good. I know what you're talking about." He could have just been saying that, but
Yeah, some people say that with saving fuel, then they end up running out. But he definitely
right.
had enough. He did a burnout too, so we gotta give him
I
credit there.
know he had enough. I don't understand him, man. He's got to teach me his ways. I can't wait to compare that VRS telemetry later. Figure out what the heck I'm
Definitely.
doing wrong.
Yeah, it'll definitely show there, man. Well, I'll tell you what, the big thing now, both you guys are locked in. Now, what's the preparation like heading up to this week here for Homestead with you two?
Man, it's gonna be all out for sure. I was talking about it earlier with my wife. We've been racing since January. If we think about that, this was a long, grueling season. There's one race left, and it just feels like, you can't let up, you can't let down. If we've shown anything, it's that we've got stiff competition here in this league, and so yeah, we're gonna take our data from previous race and just go at it. It's gonna be a little complicated. My family and I are going on vacation, so I'm gonna try to sneak the laptop out, see if that runs iRacing. And, my teammate Jake shipped me out a place seat challenge, so we're gonna see what we can do about Tuesday night. But I'm gonna do whatever. I'm gonna pull at all the stops, do whatever it takes to get there and compete for the championship. Exactly. I don't care. Potato graphic. I don't even care. We'll make it work.
Exactly, man. I tell you, that's awesome to hear that you're going to be able to make it work there. So hopefully everything works out for you there on no technical difficulties, buddy. So hopefully that all plays out and we'll get to see there at Homestead racing up front, going for possibly that 8th win because I think you're going to need to get the win if you're going to get this championship. I think that's going to be a
100%.
big factor because it's just going to be
100%.
so tough. But man, congrats on tonight getting second. I know you probably wanted to win, but at the same time, see your teammate get locked in and go to that. That's a great feeling too. So before we let you get out of here and go hang out with your family, Ben, anybody wants to shout to?
Yeah, man. Always of course, my family. They're chilling here. As per the usual. I got the kids screaming in the back. I'm sure you could hear them. My in-laws in town checking out the race and cheering us on. So thanks to them. Thanks to you guys for obviously giving us that opportunity to do it and just put on a heck of a quality product. I broadcast for my league, and I know how difficult it is, and you guys make it look easy, which is no small feat. Thanks to the admins for putting it on, and of course, all just the drivers, man. That's what makes it really fun. Everything else makes it really cool. These drivers are what makes it really fun. So, good job, MR73. Congrats to Justin Malarkey one last time. If there's a way to earn your spot into the final four, that's the way to do it. So, we will see you guys hopefully next week.
All right, buddy. Congrats on second and making it into the final four after winning last week, man. We'll catch you at Homestead, man.
See you around.
All right, everybody. That was Christopher Schmerl, your second place finisher here tonight from MR73 Racing. He'll be going on to the Final Four, but we're looking at now his teammate, Justin Malarkey, tonight's Sheffield Graphics race winner, and he's going on to the Final Four as well with this race win. Let's hear from this man himself about his third win this season here in the ARCA Evolution Series. Hey, Justin, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Zach, how's it going?
Hey man, it is going well. I tell you what, you are cool as a cucumber, my friend, because we were up here sitting up in the booth saying, "What is he doing?" Questioning when you were going to pit, how many positions you were giving up by staying out this long. Were you trying to catch a caution? But you had us all fueled, man. Fueled. That's for sure. You were fueled, but you had us all fooled up here in the booth. So how did you pull off the fuel saving there?
Talked to my teammates beforehand. They did a nice fuel run for me as I was a little late getting down here, and talked it over. And I knew I could. I knew I could make it if it stayed green. So that was kind of my strategy.
Well, man, I tell you what, that is an awesome strategy because that's the strategy that's going to propel yourself now into that Final Four at Homestead. Man, the points were looking good there too. It looks like a few situations were playing out where you were most likely going to point your way in too. But man, at the end of the day, going out there getting the third win of the season, especially I feel like there's possibly 2 or 3 races that you've had a chance to win in these playoffs that have kind of been taken away from you here. Is to get one here at Dover. How big is that before making this Final Four right at Homestead?
Oh yeah, I feel 100% like I've been on the wrong end of strategy a few times there. Last week hurt. That one really put me in a bad spot. Tonight my goal was if it stayed green, I knew I figured I couldn't make it for sure. And if we ended up pitting, I felt like the car was pretty good. It was moving up through the field a little bit there. I had a qualifying where I almost lost it coming out of turn 2 and lost some time there. But yeah,
Well, man, I tell you what, I think heading into Homestead, that's got to be a good looking race for you. I mean, we've seen your mile and a half, prowess. You've been very good there. It seems like this season. How you feel about going into Homestead? You think that track's gonna fit right in with what you're trying to do?
Uh, it's actually going to be really fun because there's 3 other people that are really good. As we know, I know the 16 actually was on the pole, I believe, back the first time we were here, and he was really fast that race. Chris is always just dominant on mile and a half tracks, really anywhere. Obviously, with 7 wins, and Edwards with 15 wins is in the same boat. So it's going to be a fun race. If it stays caution free, it's definitely going to be all about tires and taking and probably anyone pits early. It's going to be interesting getting
Yeah,
those fresh
man.
tires early.
Yeah, it definitely will be. It'll be fun to see who plays it right in that strategy next week at Homestead because you played it right here at Doberman. So I wouldn't doubt if you're right up there with them. But like you said, it's a
Yeah,
tale of 2 tapes where, the
there's
week
a
before the
casino on
strategy
the
didn't go right. Yeah,
yeah back
sometimes you
straight away.
gotta
There's a
gamble.
casino there.
Exactly right, my friend. So, man, we'll see how you can pull it off next week as you got the race win here. Before we let you get out here and go celebrate and get prepared for Homestead, man, anybody want to send a shout out to, Justin?
Yeah, I'll go with the I put some new colors on the car tonight. It's luzfdn.org. It's a little charity organization back home, and if anyone wants to check that out, go do it. It's pretty cool, and hope they like the new looks on the car.
Well, man, it definitely looked really, really good out there getting the race win here tonight, man. So, congrats on that, Justin. Buddy, you have a great week, and we will catch you next time at Homestead where you're going to be racing for a championship.
Thanks. Have a good one.
You too, buddy. All right, everybody. That was your Sheffield Graphics race winner, Justin Malarkey, and that 73 machine. Man, what a job by him to save the fuel, get the win by 23 seconds at Dover when we're running 22 to 23 second lap times. That's unheard of. But there it is. There's your race results. Malarkey getting that Sheffield Graphics race win here tonight. Second's going to go to Christopher Sproul. Third's going to be Matt Upbrook. Fourth's going to go to David Evers. And I can confirm that is our final 4 also. So the final 4 finishing top 4 in the next to last race. I think that's a preview of what we can see next week. I think those 4 will definitely be doing battle. But I tell you what, we got fast drivers out here that can definitely play a spoil as 5th there. Stephen Carey's going to come up short to make that final 4. So his playoffs are going to end tonight. 6th is going to go to Richard Gonzalez. 7th is going to go to Justin Hendry. 8th is going to be Jeff Carson. 9th is going to be Steve Potter. And rounding out the top 10 is going to be a 77 of Jake Shea. 11th is going to go to James Wright. 12th is going to be Steven Racing. 13th, Anthony Gaudio. After that pit stop miscue. 14th is going to be Brian Fine. 15th is going to go to Harold Rothery, as that is your race results here tonight from the Dover International Speedway. As this was the Dover 55 for the ARCA Evolution Series, presented to you by Sheffield Graphics. And what a night of racing we've had here. Brandon, I mean, if this is anything to have in store for us for the Cup Series where the points are just as close for those final 4 positions, I mean, I can only expect, some wild situations there. But, man, the ARCA race tonight was fantastic.
Absolutely. I mean, you said it. The final 4 ended up finishing 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think we're definitely gonna see that at Homestead. I mean, you're gonna have to win, and you've almost had to win just to make it to this point, just to get within a arm's reach of having this championship. And it's required some bold strategies and a lot of speed, a lot of preparation. So this next week is going to be a lot of fun for these guys, trying to get all that preparation in and try to think of those strategies. Man, it's a blast. it's always something at Dover. I can't think I can't think of a time that I've ever seen a fuel strategy work out like that at Dover. That's one of the most gutsy calls I've ever seen, and one of the most masterful displays of fuel saving from anybody I've ever seen. So hats off to Malarkey, again pulling that one off when we all thought that he was doomed. But man, Homestead should be a blast.
Oh, it definitely will be. And the biggest thing I look at is the Final Four. I can't even pick a favorite. Most of the time, when you get four guys there, in the Final Four, you say, "Oh, that guy's most likely the favorite." But of these Final Four, I could see four scenarios where all four of them are the favorite. So this is going to be fantastic to watch all the way down to the end, and I can't wait to be back here next week for this ARCA Evolution series. But I also can't wait for later here in an hour, almost an hour exactly at 9:20 Eastern. We're going to be going live with the RSR Cup Series for their round of 8 cutoff race for their Final Four. So, man, 2 drivers locked in there, Curtis Preston, Travis Everett. We're going to have GT Azari, Andrew Little, Ryan Bean, Nathan Campbell, and Kevin Ruff, and James Catrone fighting for those final 2 spots to join Curtis Preston and Travis Everett in that Final Four. I cannot wait for that action to kick off, so don't miss it here live on Freaky Fast Broadcasting in just an hour. But let's send it up to our producer, Robert Moyer Jr., to close out tonight's ARCA Evolution Series broadcast, because we'll get ready for the Cup Series.
All right. Thank you, guys. Man, wow. Like you guys said, wasn't expecting that to see fuel mileage and him. I can't remember ever seeing it at Dover. Somebody saving that fuel, that kind of fuel. But hey, congratulations to him on getting the win. Congratulations to him getting into the top 4. And it, like you said, Zach, it's going to be very interesting next week, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think there's a favorite, like you said, Zach. I don't see one. But we'll have to see this all plays out next week. So I'll make sure I'll have a poll put up on YouTube. So make sure you come out and vote next week. I'll have the 4 drivers up on that, and there will be also hopefully a little bit of a different overlay showing the top 4 of where they're running at in the tower standings, with a little bit of graphical works there. So tune in next week for that action. But like Zach said, Brandon, we're gonna get ready to wait for the cup cars to come out here and see who makes their Final Four as they get ready to head to Homestead after tonight's race. So make sure you tune in at 9:20. But until then, we want to say God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.